Let's quickly go over the basics of the microscope. You should know all the different parts by now after the online lab. We're going to go through this very quickly. These are the eyepieces. As you can see, they are 10x magnification. That means that they magnify by 10. These are the objectives. There are 4 of them. You can see the 4x down there, 10x here, 40x here, and 100x here. Each of those numbers is how much they magnify by. So 4x times 10x gives you 40x magnification, 10x times 10x, 100, etc., etc. Okay, the focus knobs are here. We have the coarse focus, which is the larger one on the outside, and you can see that it raises and lowers the stage quite a lot. Then you have the fine focus inside, which raises and lowers the stage very slowly. Okay, so that's actually how things focus. You bring them into focus by moving the specimen into the correct focal length so that it is in the focal point of the lens that you're looking through, right? Each lens has a different focal length, and that's what these do, is raise and lower the specimen so that you reach that focal point. Coarse focus moves it a lot. Again, fine focus, very little. You bring it into focus with the coarse focus on the lower magnification. Focus it as nicely as you can with the fine focus. And then when you get to the higher magnifications, like 40, only use the fine focus. That's all you need to do. If you've done it properly, it's already in focus enough. That's all you need to do. If you start messing with the coarse focus, not only are you going to lose it all, you run the risk of damaging either the specimen or, even worse, the lens. Okay, so again, pay close attention. Bring it into focus at the lower magnification. Then, once it's nicely focused, move it up to a higher magnification, focus it again, and make sure that your specimen is in the right place, and then, and only then, go up to the higher magnifications like the 40x. If you lose it at the 40x, don't waste your time trying to focus. Go back to 4 and refocus there and start again. I promise you, you will save time doing so. Cool? All right. Now, speaking of the specimen, I have a slide right here. This is actually of starfish larva. It is quite a bit bigger than the stuff that we'll be looking at. We're not actually going to be able to see it here, but you can actually see that red dot. That is the larva. So that's what we would want to look at if we were looking at starfish larvae here. So the thing is, you want to make sure that your specimen is actually lined up where you want it to be so that you can see it. Doesn't make any sense. You could look all day through that microscope, but if the specimen is over here instead of here, where the light actually shines through and where the lens actually looks, you're not ever going to see anything. So first things first, make sure that your specimen is actually in the spot where it can be seen. Okay. Now, you may have noticed that I was moving the specimen around. The specimen sits in this stage, is held in place with a specimen or slide clip, and the stage itself can move to move the specimen. And you do that using the stage control knobs here. One moves it forward and back, another side to side. And again, one is inset in the other. Okay? So, if you want to pan around while looking through the microscope, you can do that. That's what it's for. Okay, the actual top of the microscope may be facing the wrong way. That just makes it easier to store. But if it is, what you can do is you can loosen this pin here. Don't loosen it a lot, just enough so that it will turn, and then you can lock it back into place if you'd like, or just leave it there. This also lets us to take a glance from the side without having to push you out of the way. Anyway, so that's all that does. Make sure that you tighten it down when you're not moving the top around, because if it's too loose, this thing will actually come off. That's not good. Okay, power cable, obviously you want to unwind that all of the way. One of the biggest problems that people run into is they'll see this big black line running through the middle of their specimen and they can't figure out what's going on. Well, what's going on is that the power cable is right over the light and the light is shining through and there's that shadow of the power cable. Happens to me, it's happened to me far too many times. So just make sure that when you plug it in, that you remove the cable so that it's out of the way and you're also able to just reach the outlet. Okay, speaking of power, this is the power switch down here. It is in a different spot on the other microscopes. We have Olympus and we have OMAX, and the power and light adjustments are in slightly different places. Here's the light adjustment dial. You turn it up and get more brightness. As you go to higher magnification, you're looking at a smaller area and therefore you are picking up less total light. And for that reason, you're going to need to turn up the light. You'll notice this. If you are at 40 or 100x magnification and then you suddenly go to 4, it will be blindingly bright in comparison because the 4x picks up more light and that's going right into your eye. So you adjust the light to get the clarity, the definition, the illumination that you need. So those are the basic parts of the microscope. And that's that. Now, some things to go with it. We have lens cleaner here. We have lens paper. If you're lucky, you'll get some nice hand-bound lens paper. It's the same stuff, just we have had a whole bunch of loose leaf of it. And then you have immersion oil here. We will go over how to use all of this later.